NC State, is re-examining its emergency plans after those two incidents involving gunmen at UNC.
WRAL Investigates Sarah Kruger shows us the extra step the university is now taking.
NC State called an in-person meeting with first responders from all over Wake County. They've held these meetings before, but this one was specifically spurred by what happened at UNC. After a tough couple weeks at UNC with a professor murdered on campus and then a gunman in the student union, NC State's police chief Daniel House has security on his mind.
There are several things that we saw that, we said, hey, we better take a look at these plans again. Part
of that was calling a meeting days after the second UNC incident with agencies including the FBI, Highway Patrol, and Sheriff's Office, making sure they were up to speed on how to handle an emergency at State.
It's good all the relationships in place before an incident happens, because when it does, that's not the time to start meeting people and making introductions.
Chief House says he thinks UNC responded well to the threats there. Some UNC students, though, expressed concerns about the alerts not including locations of where the incidents happened, and concerns about some classroom doors not locking.
Do you know if NC State has that issue as well with aging buildings that don't have functioning locks?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you exactly how many do and how many don't, we have an open classroom environment, and, again, each person, part of the training that we teach is if you do have a situation, and you don't have a lock on the door, barricade the door.
UNC, NC State, and Duke do not have a blanket requirement for students or staff to take active shooter training. Instead, all schools make optional resources available online. In an active threat, NC State would sound sirens that blare across campus. Those were on display during a recent football game when lightning was in the area, causing an evacuation of the stadium. More often, NC State uses wolf alerts that can come in the form of a text, email, or Facebook post. The university teaches run, hide, fight. Chief House says even if an alert says to shelter in place, students should use their own judgment.
And you've got to make some decisions on your own safety, too, based on what you have in the environment that you're in.
The situations here would be relevant to any location.
Amy Orders, Senior Director of Emergency Preparedness, helps keep the university ready for anything. She assures parents she is very invested in her job.
I am the parent of an NC State student, so I have a dual investment in my job. I have a firm belief in what we do is appropriate and that we act in the good faith of everybody who comes to our campus.
Sarah Kruger, WRAL News, Raleigh.
Like UNC, NC State does not require training for much of its student and staff population. Instead, it says it has a lot of resources available on its website for the campus community to review.